is joining us from the South Africa Tourism. Kristy, welcome to IntelliTravel. Come on up. Don't be shy. I'm going to hand you the controls. It's all yours, Kristy, and let me get out of your way here.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Kristy Angellotti. I am Head of Trade Relations with the South African Tourism Board, and we work with travel trade partners in North America. So I'm going to give you a quick destination overview today, and then we'll follow up with a few of our sales and marketing resources for the travel trade to help all of you feel more comfortable selling and marketing South Africa to your clients. So a little bit about South Africa. We are known as the Rainbow Nation. The population of South Africa is 60 million people with 11 official languages, believe it or not. So it is a huge melting pot of different cultures. To put it into perspective in terms of size, it's about the size of Texas times 2. And our 3 major cities are Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. So a little update on the arrivals and where we're at in terms of recovery. We are nearly at full recovery in tourism arrivals from the US. We're about 93% year to date compared to 2019. A little bit slower from Canada. We're about 83%. So we expect to be at full recovery from the US by the end of this year and maybe mid next year from Canada. So thanks to all of you for sending your clients back to South Africa. And a little update on some traveler trends we've been seeing post-pandemic. The demographics are shifting and we're seeing younger generations discovering South Africa. So the millennials, the Gen X are actually outpacing the baby boomers for the first time, which is quite interesting for us. Also, we're seeing about 50% repeat visitors. So that means once you get your clients on their first trip to South Africa, the next trip will literally sell itself. So do keep that in mind. And then a few trends to keep a lookout for. We're seeing quite a lot of LGBTQ plus travelers. As some of you may know that South Africa was the first country to legalize gay marriage on the African continent, and the 5th country actually in the world, and actually wrote protections in the Constitution for sexual preference in the early 90s, which was unprecedented at that time in history. We're also seeing quite a lot of new cruise products coming online, particularly expedition cruising around the coast. Lots of family and multi-generational groups are coming out to South Africa to finally take that trip that they've always wanted. We're also seeing large groups of African American travelers coming, ladies groups. In fact, I was just there about 2 weeks ago and I saw multiple women's groups around the waterfront area in Cape Town, which is really cool to see. And actually digital nomads, we find people coming to actually set up shop and live in South Africa for a few months if they have remote work. We're seeing this trend particularly with younger travelers. And a few opportunities as you market to the Canadian audience in terms of what they're interested in. The food culture in South Africa appeals quite a lot to the Canadian travelers. Most of the Canadian travelers know about the safari experiences in South Africa, but more of a focus on the other natural attractions we'll get into in just a bit, and a new look at some of the cultural experiences that the travelers can have. As we saw earlier, South Africa is such a melting pot of different cultures, and there's quite a lot to do in the cultural sphere for your clients. So, a few key selling points. No visas are required, so your US, Canadian clients step off the plane, get their passport stamped, they're on their way. There are also no immunizations required, which is a major selling point. And the exchange rate is one of our key selling points. So we're averaging actually now about 18, 19 to 1 against the US dollar. So there's incredible value for money. And if you hadn't heard, we have some really exciting new air routes that have cropped up in the past couple of years. So from the East Coast of the United States, we have Delta and United offering direct flights to both Johannesburg and Cape Town from Newark, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta. There are no direct flights yet from Canada, unfortunately, but a quick connection can certainly get your clients there fairly quickly from those East Coast gateways. And that's to complement all the additional service that's available from the Middle East, from Europe, and even the African continent. So there have never been more ways to send your clients to South Africa. We are a year-round destination, so the North American winter is the South African summer. We have varied ecosystems. There's no harsh winter, so I always like to say that whenever your clients have the most time to travel, that's the best time to send them to South Africa, because as you're about to discover, there's so much to do and see. Our food and wine is another major selling point. So we have such a huge variety. If your clients are picky eaters, no worries. They can easily get burgers and fries, South African style. There's so much amazing Cape Malay cuisine to discover, Indian cuisine, traditional African cuisine, healthy vegetable, fresh sushi, all kinds of different kaleidoscope of different flavors in South Africa, and all for incredible value for money. We also have a wine region that dates back over 360 years. So there's some incredible wines to pair with their gourmet meals. And with that exchange rate, your clients can enjoy these meals every night and not break the bank when they're traveling. We also have such warm and welcoming people. If you've been to South Africa, you would have discovered this. If you sent clients, this is probably something they have mentioned to you after they return home, but it's so nice to be so warmly received in a destination that's truly interested in your clients, wants to know where they're from, and wants to make them feel right at home when they're in South Africa. Now, one of our major selling points here is the unparalleled variety of world-class tourism experiences. And we'll take a quick look at those. So we have nearly 2,000 miles of beautiful coastline from the Atlantic Ocean to the Indian Ocean. The two oceans meet at Cape Agulhas on the southern coast of the African continent. We also have nearly 50 blue flag beaches, stunning coastline, and Boulders Beach. If you sent clients or if you traveled yourself, you would certainly know this beach. This is where the penguins live. It's right in Cape Town. Wildlife safari. This is one of our top drivers of tourism. We have malaria-free safari regions, which have been growing in popularity with families, elderly travelers, and groups. So a few malaria-free regions you may have heard of are in the Eastern Cape, Johannesburg, the Waterberg, Madikwe, and that's in addition to the Kruger National Park. So this is our most well-known area for safari. It sits up in the upper right corner of South Africa, where it straddles two provinces, Limpopo and Mpumalanga. So to put it into perspective, the Kruger Park is very large. It's about the size of New Jersey or Israel. You can fly commercially into the Kruger or take bush flights to really start that safari adventure and fly right into some of the private airstrips. And now, don't let the misconceptions get in your head about safari only being ultra luxury. There's a wide variety of price points, from budget to 7-star and everything in between. So your clients certainly don't have to wait until the end of their travel life to save up for that safari. It is accessible for most travelers. We have so many exciting active adventures, from shark cage diving to hiking to canoeing to stand-up paddleboarding to boating adventures, and just about everything in between. So if you could think of an adventure activity, you could probably find it in South Africa. And it's a great way to get outside and enjoy this beautiful outdoor playground and all the mountain ranges, deserts, and various ecosystems that you'll find in South Africa. Our cities are absolutely incredible. Definitely overlap your clients during a weekend in the cities, and they can enjoy the weekend markets, the art scene, the incredible world-class museums, and all the fine dining that they can experience between Johannesburg, Cape Town, and or Durban. Now, as I mentioned a couple slides ago, we are a massive outdoor playground, so there's so much scenic beauty to take in, whether your clients are taking one of the luxury trains from one side of the country to another, or maybe exploring the Blythe River Canyon, which you see here. This is the third largest canyon in the world and the world's largest green canyon. There's so much culture to explore. As I said earlier, we have 11 official languages. We're also the home of Nelson Mandela. And South Africa next year in 2024 celebrates 30 years of democracy. So what a wonderful time to send your clients there and take part in this celebration. Now we'll look at a quick video that brings these experiences to life.
I see that you've been searching for safari. Oh, you've come to the right place. We practically invented safari. The Big 5 safari guided game drives, Eat of the kind. Sipping an ice cold, pink rooibos infused cooler as you watch the rising pink with the sunset. Yeah, safari. Our name is even in the word, safari. But that's not the only safari we have. No, we have them all. Food safaris, wine safaris, deserts of oaks, desert safaris, jumping off thing safaris, surfing safaris, mountain safaris, cruising downhill safaris, jaw-dropping safaris, into the jungle safaris, street safaris, culture safaris, and what about nightlife safaris? Only of the best kind. So you see, South Africa is a safari from beginning to end. You want a safari? We'll give you safari.
Thank you so much for your time, everybody. We'll make all of our sales and marketing tools and resources available to you after the presentation. And thanks for your support for Destination South Africa.